Hey guys, so I wanted to go over how I've changed Duskers. Basically, I feel that Duskers was broken. Not the exploration that I showed you guys, but the combat. So the way that the combat worked before is, hold on, let me explore the ship here. Closed door, closed door. Okay, so let me go in here. Alright, so what I would probably do before is I would do something like arm my turret. It was very kind of Space Marines-y, where you go in and you would arm some turrets, and the idea would be is that I'd open the door, I'd blow away anything inside here, some of it would escape and try and get back into my ship, and I would set up my drones to destroy those guys along the way. So it was the dungeon crawler meets tower defense, which felt really cool, and I do think that perhaps it could work, but it wasn't working. And one of the reasons is that I have this manual control of these drones, which I really like. It adds a lot of atmosphere in my mind. And this command line interface that I also feel adds a lot to it. So I felt like the exploration was really working, but the combat wasn't at all. And then Alex Austin had this suggestion. He said, well, what if I remove all the combat if it's not working? And I thought that was really interesting because the things that I had explained to him that I was really excited about the game didn't really have to do with being a space marine. Had more to do with exploring this derelict ship and having old tech that breaks down and stuff like that. So then I started thinking, well, how could I avoid the combat? How could I make the combat? I wanted to keep the tension, but I wanted to make it so that, maybe I've always loved it when a frontal assault is not a good idea. So what I did was I added sensors. Sensor. And you can see this green sphere that kind of grows and even bigger on this map. Imagine that is an alien detector, because they got those things in the future. Very important. So I dropped this sensor in here, and then I bring in drone, oops, yeah, I gotta bring in drone 4. I gotta bring in drone 4 because he's the guy with the power, so he's kind of important. So I'm gonna hook up the power. So this stuff is all the same. But the fact that I can control these doors is really important. So what if I close D1 and then I open up D6 or D11, let's say, and I wait. And if that thing turns red, that means that an enemy has wandered in, which it just did. So I close D11 and now I've trapped an enemy in that room. Because these are swarms of aliens and they're not smart enough to open up the doors. So this is kind of cool. Like, I've just basically trapped that guy. The problem is that now I have nowhere to go because I can't trap another guy. So what if, instead of that, I open up D11 and let him hopefully wander out when that thing turns green and be ready to close the door. Yeah, gonna do it. Look at that room. Look at R11. So inviting. You were there before. Wasn't that awesome? Go to your home. Nice. Okay, so now it's green because they wandered back into R11. So the only thing I know right now is there is an enemy in R11 and there's none in R1 right now. So now I've added traps. So what if I added a trap here, which is this blinking thing. You can see it blinking. And a warning just came up, and that warning is that door 18 is being attacked. So that, you see this on the right here, that is being attacked. Apparently they heard me rummaging around in here, and they want in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back out and I'm going to let them in. So close D1, open D18. And actually open, well, so here's the problem. The problem is D14 is being attacked. Oh, this is a mess. This isn't supposed to be happening. Right, so, I think what happened here is that we randomly have guys attack and maybe be able to detect if you're in the room. And it looks like they're a little bit overly aggressive right now. So what I'm going to do is I am going to place down a lure. So a lure will really draw all the enemies in, and I want them all to come into this room. And I'm also going to put a trap in here. So I'm going to back out of the room. And I dropped a sensor, so I'll be able to tell. Now the good thing is I'm going to have to open up all these doors. So drone 4 will be exposed, and D17 is open, so all my drones are exposed. But because of the lure, they'll be distracted by that as long as I don't open fire on them. So I'm going to open up D14, D1, D4, everything but the kitchen sink, and I'm going to... Whoa, there's a lot of them. So I'm going to close D17, and now... see how R1 lit up red and now R6 is lit up red. So there's a whole bunch of them in there. So I'm going to detonate that trap. Boom. And you may be wondering, alright, I just set off a bomb in there and it's still red. So what's going on? What's going on is that I have the trap so that they kill most of them, but there's like a 95% chance. So they all didn't die. So the idea would be something like this, where I open up the door. And they're still really interested in that lure, so they're just kind of ignoring me. So I come out here. There's lots of dead bodies, but there's a bunch of them left. There's about 4 of them. So as soon as I open fire on them, they're going to start attacking me. And hopefully I can take it, because there's only 4 of them. So you see, my hit points drop down to 90, but I'm still okay. And there's a lot of dead guys right around here. So the idea would be is that these traps... they're really effective, but you can see my mission profit down at the bottom is negative 260, and that's because it costs money to blow up bombs. So the idea would be is that you wouldn't want to blow up too many of them, and you'd have to come up with some clever solutions as far as like hurting these enemies around. So real quick, I'll show what that might look like. So what if I didn't want to use a trap? So what I could do here is drop a sensor down, and then close D14, then open D16, and wait. And they might wander in. And if they wander in, then I can close them off in that room. Close D16. If they don't wander in, then I'm pretty sure that R11 is clear, but I can't be positive, so it gets a little bit scary. So they're not wandering in, so now it's just like a kind of a guessing game as to, are they just not wandering in, are they not in R11? So the thing is that if they had been in there and they had wandered in, I could close this door. Oh, whoa, see, that's why it's scary, because I would have assumed that it was safe, but it was not. So they wandered in, so now I've closed off D16 and D14, and as long as they don't figure out that I'm in here and start attacking the door, I've kind of quarantined them off, and now I can kind of go about my business by opening up D11, assuming that there's no one in there, which I hope there isn't, and there isn't. And so now I can kind of keep exploring the rest of this without really worrying about these guys, unless, like I said, they become agitated. But then I could maybe shift them around to another room or something like that. So this game has become very much about avoiding combat rather than like head-on combat, which I think is really cool. Could be really atmospheric, could be really scary. So yeah, it's kind of moved in from like dungeon crawling tower defense to dungeon crawling survival horror, if you will, or conflict avoidance or resource management. I don't really know what you would call it. But that's what it is. So I would love to hear from you guys on what you think. Do you think that this is much cooler? Do you think that this is worse? Any thoughts in the comments? Love to hear them. Yeah, and I'll go over more of this stuff later. I just kind of wanted to give you guys a gist of how the game had changed. As always, thanks for watching. Bye.